More than 100 million balls are being sold per year in the Netherlands, and most of them are sold during New Year's Eve. Because the oliebollen, the equivalent of a Dutch donut, is a traditional snack that is eaten during New Year's Eve to celebrate the new year. So let's make our own oliebollen. I'll give you 3 ways how to make these. One plain and simple, another filled with currants and raisins, and my own variation, the Cheesecake Oliebollen. So grab your apron and let's go.
All these recipes make around 10 large oliebollen. So if you want more, you can multiply the recipe. You'll need a similar ice cube like I have. This one is 7 centimeters in diameter, 2.7 inches. For the first recipe, I'll make a basic oliebollen without filling, and then you can add whatever you like to it. In a bowl, add 250 milliliters of lukewarm whole milk and 250 milliliters of dark ale beer. I have a seasonal winter Dutch beer, but use any caramelly tasting beer for this batter. If you don't want to use beer, you can also just do 500 milliliters of milk or even use water. The beer will give the batter a lighter, airy texture. Add 40 grams of white caster sugar and 9 grams of salt, and nothing is set in stone here, so you can play around with the measurements to adjust the sweetness a bit. Then add 500 grams of all-purpose flour and 14 grams of instant yeast. Mix that all together, and when I say mix, I mean really mix this all together heavily. This is a bit of work, but this way you incorporate a bit more air into your batter, what gives a fluffier oliebollen. Then cover and let it rest for around an hour in a nice warm space. You can use your oven for this. Make sure to check if it's nicely risen, otherwise just leave it for another 30 minutes. Then I set up my frying station outside on my balcony because I'm doing 3 batches of oliebollen. I don't want my whole house to stink of oil. So I hope you like the nice change of scenery. Pour in 3 liters of sunflower oil. Canola oil works fine as well. And let the oil get up to a temperature of 180 degrees Celsius or 360 degrees Fahrenheit. Then scoop the dough a few times with your ice scoop. Trim off the edges by using the side of the bowl. And then drop it above the oil. If you have troubles getting it out of the scoop, 2 things. Make sure you have a scoop that has a release mechanism like this one. And secondly, you can spray it with some oil to make it less sticky. Let the dough balls fry for about 7 to 8 minutes, and make sure that if you're frying in a pan, you keep checking your temperature, that it's around 180 degrees Celsius or 360 degrees Fahrenheit. And since the dough balls float on the surface of the oil, you want to make sure to keep turning them. Also, 8 minutes will do for the oliebollen, but if you want to check if they're done, here's a trick for you. Use a wooden stick, stick it into the dough ball, and if there's no wet dough attached, it's done. If some dough sticks to the wooden stick, the dough balls are still undercooked from the inside. This technique doesn't only apply with oliebollen, but also with any other baked goods that need to cook from the inside. When done, remove from the oil and throw it straight onto a baking tray with some paper towels to let it cool down a little bit. Then tower them up onto a plate. Dust over your powdered sugar, and that's a beautiful pile of oliebollen done.
There we go, plain and simple, also delicious. In this moment, I love tradition.
Now for the second oliebollen, we'll do a classic take and fill it up with some additional ingredients. It's not harder, it's just more ingredients. And these are the ones how you get them at these oliebollen carts in the Netherlands all over the country. Soak a mixture of currants and raisins. I used about 180 grams here, but you can play around a little bit with the measurements. You can go 150 or 200 grams, whatever you like. So for the dough, add 250 milliliters of lukewarm whole milk and 250 milliliters of dark beer of your choice. Add 40 grams of white caster sugar, 9 grams of salt, and 500 grams of all-purpose flour, and throw on that 14 grams of instant yeast. For this batter, I also added a zest of 1 lemon and 2 teaspoons of cinnamon powder. Mix that all together real freaking good. And then to make it that classic oliebollen, we'll add 180 grams of currant and raisin mix. Also cut up 1 big apple, around 80 grams, into small bits for a nice fruity bite. Mix that all into the batter and also set aside for around 45 minutes to 1.5 hours. Just see when it's nice and risen, okay? If it's bubbling like this, it's good. Once risen, transfer to your frying station. Scoop a ball with your ice scoop and drop them into the oil one by one. I wouldn't do more than 5 to make sure that the temperature stays nice and hot. Let them fry for about 8 minutes and look at these magnificent beauties. Pile them up, dust them up, celebrate, and done is the second batch of oliebollen.
There we go, currants and raisin.
Now for the third oliebol, you have to make sure to share this with someone and like and subscribe if you haven't done that already, because these are absolutely going to make your New Year's Eve 10 times better. I used the batter of the first oliebol and sliced the oliebol in half after frying and cooling. Then I added a cream cheese mixture, what is 200 grams of room temperature cream cheese, 3 tablespoons of whole milk, and 4 tablespoons of powdered sugar. I mixed that with a hand mixer until it became nice and fluffy. Then I added that to the oliebol, and on top of that I added some cherries in thick sauce that you can buy in the store, or you can thicken your cherry juices with a bit of agar-agar yourself. Add that on top of the oliebol, and there you have an oliebol cherry cheesecake. These 3 are the ultimate combo for New Year's Eve in the Netherlands. So stall them out on a plate, have everybody stuff their faces and celebrate the New Year's like we've done for ages in the Netherlands. Enjoy.
Heaven, really. And there you have it, 3 amazing oliebollen recipes you can now make at home. And I want to wish you a happy new year. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you've been a little longer this year on my first year at YouTube, thank you so much for all your support. It has been truly a great journey, and who knows what we'll do next year. But if you would like to see some more tips or recipes, check out my Christmas tips, what is also generally good tips for in the kitchen. But thank you so much for being here. I hope I added some value to you this year, and there are many, many more videos to come next year. So subscribe and like this video, and then I see you in the next year in another video. Cheers. The paratha. Paratha is an Indian flatbread that is a great mix between
A homemade tortilla. You do have a homemade tortilla, right? If you are using
up to a month. You can also freeze them in Ziploc bags to prolong their shelf life.
a little bit of that cream, sprinkle over your cilantro, and enjoy. Some favorite sauces. My favorite sauce is the mint chutney and the garlic chili chutney. We've made Biggie Mac, let's also make the viral TikTok variant that you like. Now for the final non-variation.
Waffle. Yes, you heard that right. It's dipping time!
And it absolutely has a spot in my top 3 favorite cakes all time.
But if you have even more patience,
and there you have it!
how badly you're drooling, either right now watching this, or whenever you've made this dish yourself, because I'm about to drool again if I keep recording this. In karahi, fold it up like a burrito and grill it for a few seconds, slice it in half and look at that. Absolutely delicious.